Let's talk about the trap of the live service. Back when I just started, MMOs were a thing that were pretty new and they attracted a lot of attention. Even in the early days when you had games like Ultima Online and EverQuest that had player bases measured in the hundreds of thousands, even then you had a lot of attention from a lot of other companies thinking, we're going to make an MMO, it's going to make us tons of money. You had all kinds of MMOs launching or attempting to launch in this time period. There was a Xena and Hercules MMO, but there's also littered dozens of other MMOs that never actually managed to launch. In that day, the napkin math went something like this. Ultima Online has 150,000 active players or 300,000 active players. If we can just get 10% of that, then we will have 20,000 people playing our game every month. And they're paying $15 a month. So that's $300,000 a month we have to work with to support this game. But the reality is MMOs are incredibly expensive to make. And then once you actually stand them up, what you find is that you actually don't get 10% of what the leader actually is getting. You're not getting 20,000 active players. You're getting 2,000 active players or even less. So your napkin math falls apart, and even if you manage to get that game to market, it ends up having to shut down relatively quickly. Moving forward, in the 2000s, we had language like all games will be multiplayer going forward. And what was happening in this era was that looking at the data, what you saw was that games that had more session days, that is, people played the game on more different days, sold better, and seemed to be stickier and seemed to have a longer, fatter tail. And it makes some sense on the surface because the longer you are playing a game, the longer you have to tell your friends to also play the game. Napkin Math said that you needed to get more session days, and the only way that was understood to get more session days was to have multiplayer. So multiplayer, all games must be multiplayer, single player is dead. What happened? You can't just pivot your single player teams to multiplayer, so you ended up with multiplayer games that were not fully featured, and as it turns out, just having the feature, just checking the checkbox, making Uncharted have a multiplayer mode, does not a multiplayer game make. So again, that napkin math of we can add multiplayer and increase our session days by 100, 200% didn't work out. Moving forward again, Destiny came out. Destiny wasn't the first looter shooter. It's the one that really showed the game publishers what this kind of free, long tail, microtransaction driven live service could look like. You also had games coming out in this period between the 2000s and the mid-2010s like FIFA Ultimate Team. Games that had incredibly long, fat tails that had lifetime values from their players in the hundreds of dollars in some cases. And in this case, what was seen, like was seen before, was more session days means more sales, but also you can keep people around for a long time and make tons of money off of them. Napkin Math comes out once more and it says, great, we can turn every game into FIFA Ultimate Team. We can turn every game into Destiny. But in this case, the mistake is you can only really play one Destiny at a time. You can only really do one engrossing live service at a time. So what happens in cases where one game is going to dominate your attention? You end up having a very tall, steep head and a very thin tail because people play where the people are. And so these live services tend to be dominated by one winner, 2 or 3 runners up, and then a lot of live services that aren't really surviving. And you see that right now. We are in the era of the live service shutting down right now because all these publishers are learning a lesson that they actually learned before, which is that your napkin math isn't great. That people can't play 6 or 7 or 8 big, expansive live services. Time isn't infinite. The reality is that in a lot of cases, the problem with napkin math is that you ruin a perfectly good napkin. And the math on that napkin is basically useless. Often when we're doing napkin math, we're forgetting constraints. We're forgetting that things aren't infinite. We're doing things like pretending like people have an infinite amount of time in a day, that they can play an infinite number of live services. Or we're ignoring that MMOs are incredibly expensive to make. Or we are doing very simple math and saying, if only we get 10% of, when 10% might be a completely unrealistic expectation of market share. 1% might be an unrealistic expectation of market share. When we do napkin math, we are making a lot of assumptions. In some cases, that's fine because those assumptions are fine or close enough, or the guesses are canceling each other out and we're getting something reasonable. But in cases with a lot of exponential curves, napkin math can get us into a lot of trouble because our brains don't really work in that way. They tend to think of things in kind of linear ways. So when you're imagining how successful your MMO is going to be compared to WoW, you're imagining a significant percentage of something like WoW. WoW's got 3 million players, so surely we can get 5% of that, 150,000 active players. But no, that's not actually correct. That curve looks like this, and you're probably lucky to get 10,000 active players. When the napkins and Sharpies are coming out, here are the places where mistakes typically end up happening. You are looking at a wildly different kind of game, and when you're trying to figure out what it's going to cost, your napkin math is saying it's going to cost 2 times what we understand. It's not 2 times, it's 10 times as complicated as the thing you understand. Or you forget that people have a limited number of minutes in a day, and you just assume that they can play all of your long tail live services at the same time. And therefore, the tail is relatively linear, and you don't need to compete with everyone else because there's an infinite amount of time. But the reality is, winner wins in these spaces much more so than in the case of other kinds of games. So unless you're going to be first, second, or third, your live service is going to bleed out pretty quickly. Or you forget that you have to support this thing at all. And you might look at a game like FIFA Ultimate Team, where the cost of support is relatively low because your new content consists of new kinds of cards, and forget that your game is going to need new classes and new guns and new gameplay modes, and you dramatically undercost the amount of effort it's going to be to keep this thing going. All you've got is a napkin to work with. Things tend to be forgotten. Either you are treating something as a linear growing thing when in fact it's an exponentially growing thing, like the cost of making something you don't understand, or you make what you think is a conservative estimate of attention, like thinking you're going to get 10% of a leader's number of active players, when in fact that's an incredibly aggressive estimate, and that number might be closer to 1%. When you are working with a napkin with only a limited amount of information, you are extrapolating and using what you understand. But in some cases, what feels like it's something close to what you understand, like a different genre, is actually something you don't understand at all, because things work radically different, because the curves of attach between winners and losers is much steeper than you expect, because cost of development is much higher than you expect, because the cost of support is a thing that you haven't even had to consider in the past. In some cases, don't waste the napkin. Use it for what it was intended to, wiping your face, and leave the napkin math alone. A special thanks to my members. They provide the resources that this channel needs to keep running. If you're interested in becoming a member, there's a link to that down in the description. If you found this interesting, give it a thumbs up because that shows YouTube that it's worth sharing to other people. We have merch now. This is the I bought this shirt so Mark doesn't start pumping NFT shirt. Maybe with new leadership, YouTube is going to turn into an NFT wasteland. I hope not, but I guess we'll see. If you're interested in picking up some merch, there's a shelf for that below this video. Do you think we finally moved past the once a decade loop of publishers deciding everything needs to be a live service? My bet is no, is that we've got to go through this every 10 years for the rest of time as publishers try to make everything make a ton of money all the time. But I think we've learned the lesson for a little bit, and games are allowed to be single player again. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I will see you again soon. Thank you.